Okay, today we're going to install this SRD991 positioner, SRD991/B, which means single acting positioner, onto this spring return actuator with Namor yoke. We're going to be using the standard feedback lever and the EBZG-H mounting kit. As with all SRD positioners, there is an input shaft coming off the back which has a flat spot on it. The flat spot and the arrow should be aligned when the valve position is at approximately 50%. The valid input rotation is plus or minus 45 degrees from this position, which means that the positioner can only measure valve position from minus 45 to plus 45, so a 90-degree input rotation maximum. This is going to be a left-hand mount, which means it's going to mount to the left side of the valve stem. So I'm going to mount the feedback lever in such a way that the flat and the arrow are aligned when it's attached to the actuator. So I'm going to put on my lock washer and my 8mm nut and tighten that down with a wrench. So it's nice and snug. We don't want any free play. Then I'm going to take my EBZG-H mounting bracket and mount it onto the yoke. Tighten that down with an Allen wrench. Then I'm going to take the positioner. I'm going to move the spring down with my finger. This little spring that holds the carrier bolt tight in the slot of the feedback lever. So I pull it down, slide the carrier bolt into the slot, then release the spring. Then take my mounting bolts and attach the positioner to the mounting bracket. And then tighten those down. I'm going to take my supply air. The positioner will operate anywhere from 20 to 90 psi supply pressure, depending on the actuator that's used, what's required for the actuator that's used. And this is the input to my actuator, which is the output of the positioner. I'm going to slide those on. Then I'm going to take my 4 to 20 milliamp signal, which is coming from this milliamp source. Also, you notice I have a pressure transmitter sitting here, and this is teed in with the output pressure of the positioner. So this is the actual pressure going to the actuator. Okay, terminal 11 is positive, terminal 12 is negative. So I'll attach those accordingly. There's the positive is the negative. And I will turn on my milliamp source. And the LCD indicator should illuminate, and we will zoom in on that. And you'll see that the first thing that comes up is the menu language. I have three choices: English, German, and French. I'm going to select English. To select the highlighted choice, you push the up and down buttons simultaneously. Now English is selected, and now what's being shown is LCD orientation, normal or flipped. Well, you can see that it's upside down right now in the normal position, so I'm going to pick flipped, and you'll see I'm viewing it in the correct orientation. I press up and down to select that. Now at this point I'm going to turn on my supply air. You'll see the gauge came up. That's my supply pressure. And the first selection in the menu is mounting. Well, this is a linear left-hand mount, as we had mentioned earlier. So I'm going to enter the mounting menu by pressing both buttons, and you'll see the selections are stroke left, which means linear stroke, stroke right, rotary counterclockwise, and rotary clockwise. Now I want to select linear stroke left. So I'll highlight that, press the up and down buttons together, and then I want to verify my SRD valve action. So valve action SRD is showing as direct, which is exactly what I want, because as the 4 to 20 milliamp signal increases, I want the output pressure to increase. Now I'll go back to the auto start menu, and I have a few selections in there. Endpoints, which will just find the endpoints of the actuator and store those, and will not auto tune the positioner for optimum response. The next is standard auto start, enhanced auto start, smooth response, or fast response. I'm just going to do the standard at this point and see how the device responds after that's executed. Typically, standard auto start will be suitable for 90% of the applications. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press both buttons to start the standard auto start. And the valve should now stroke, which we will see. You see it moving up and down. And you will see the pressure transmitter showing the varying output pressure going to the actuator. What's happening is the position is going to find its endpoints, then go through a ramping procedure and step changes to determine the optimum proportional and integral values for increasing and decreasing valve position. This will take anywhere from 3 to 20 minutes depending on the size of the actuator. This one's relatively small, so I'm looking probably at about a 3 or 4 minute time frame for the auto start to complete. once the auto start has completed, the display should then show the actual valve position, which is showing about 50% on a 12 milliamp input, which is absolutely correct because 12 milliamp is 50% of scale. I'll try to zoom in a little bit, see if we can get a closer look at that display. There we go. So you see we have 12 milliamp, 50%. If I flip the switch to 4 milliamp, which is 0%, see the valve position is 0. If I jump it up to 20 milliamp, it should go to 100%. And you'll see it's at 100.1 or 99.7, 99.8. If I come back to 12 milliamp, it should cut back to 50%. At this point, the positioner and valve are ready to install.